Good afternoon, girls. Children, we are going to start the new chapter today, that is real numbers, chapter number 1. Okay. Now, when we talk about real numbers, because you have studied real numbers in class ninth also, we are going to first define what are real numbers. See, real numbers are the numbers which consist of rational numbers and irrational numbers. Okay. So, you know what are rational numbers? Rational numbers are the numbers which can be written in the form of P by Q. You know what are real numbers? Together, rational numbers and irrational numbers are called real numbers. Okay. Now, when I say what is a rational number, we write the rational numbers in the form of P by Q. That is, it is it is numerator and denominator. And the condition is Q should not be equal to 0. That denominator can never be 0. Then those type of fractions are called, those type of numbers represented in this form are called rational numbers. Now, I can write 4 by 2, I can write 4 by 7, 3 by 9 or 9 by 3, minus 4 upon 6. These are all rational numbers. The rational numbers can be positive and negative. You know that every number is a rational number. Okay, it should be in the form of P by Q, but remember that the condition is Q should not be equal to 0. That means in the denominator it shouldn't be 0. Otherwise, if I say is 0 a rational number, you will say yes, because I can write 0 as 0 by 1. Okay, now this is Q, which is Q is not equal to 0. Here also Q is not equal to 0, hence it is a rational number. Okay, so this is what rational number is, and you have been studying these rational numbers from class 7th. Now, you also know in previous class, 9th class, you have studied what is a decimal form of the rational numbers. Okay, now what are irrational numbers? Irrational numbers are the numbers which does not, or we cannot write them in the form of P by Q. Such numbers are called irrational numbers. And together rational and irrational numbers make up what? Real numbers. Now if I have examples of irrational numbers, I can write root 2, root 7, root 5, etc. Even pi is also an irrational number. Okay, so this is rational and irrational. Now in this chapter, children, we are going to study two, I'll tell you what. We are going to study, one is Euclid's division algorithm. Okay, I will write Euclid's division algorithm. Okay, and fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Okay, fundamental theorem of arithmetic. And in the index, when we go, we have revisiting irrational numbers and revisiting rational numbers and their decimal expansions. That also we will study the later part of the chapter. Now starting with today, I'm going to explain you what is a Euclid's division algorithm, right? Euclid's division algorithm. Now what is Euclid? Euclid means it's a name. I think you know. Euclid was a mathematician. Yes, he was a Greek mathematician, and he actually gave a division algorithm, and that we are going to discuss now. What is that Euclid's division algorithm? Now, Euclid division algorithm, before going to that, do you know what is algorithm? Yes. What is algorithm? Algorithm means step by step procedure to solve any problem. Okay? Or to perform any task. Right? Algorithm means it is a step by step procedure. What? To perform any task or to solve any problem. This is called algorithm. Now when we say that, what is the topic? Euclid's division algorithm. So when I say algorithm means steps, now division algorithm means steps to perform division. Okay, steps to perform what? Division. You know how we perform a division? There are steps which we have learned in the lower classes, you know how to divide. So if I take up an example, uh, I am now showing you a simple example for division. Suppose I take 7 by 2. Okay, 7 I have to divide by 2. Very simple question. You all know how to divide a number by a given number. Now you know that 2 3s are 6. Yes, and after that what do? We subtract, and this is the complete, because if we cannot further divide it, so here we stop here. Okay, we stop here. Now in this complete procedure we have steps. Now what are the steps? That first we multiply in our mind what number should come here. It should be either equal to the dividend, or it should be less than the dividend. All that you keep in mind, and then you start dividing. Okay, after that whatever number comes in your mind or whatever is suitable, you write here as a quotient. Now this is the quotient, right? Then you subtract, and then you write what? Remainder. Now this is quotient, this is remainder. What is 7? What is 7? 7 is dividend. And what is 2? It is a divisor. It is a divisor. Now when we see this division, there is some means a hidden fact is there. It's not hidden, it is actually a fact. You will always say that remainder is always less than the divisor, right? Remainder is always less than the divisor. Now remainder can be 0, it can be greater than 0, but it cannot be less than 0. Okay, so two conditions I have told you. Number one, that when we divide, we go step by step. This is called algorithm. So this is division algorithm. This is quotient, this is dividend, this is remainder, and this is what? Divisor. You will always notice that remainder is always less than the divisor, and remainder is always greater than 0 or equal to 0. Okay, so you know these steps now, and remember these two conditions. Now you also have to know one more term here. Okay, steps, you know how to perform the steps of division. You will also now know what is the meaning of the word lemma. Okay, now what is lemma? Lemma also will be used in this chapter, so therefore I am going to tell you what is lemma. Now lemma is a statement which is already been proved, and using that lemma we are going to prove another statement. Okay, so what is lemma? It is a statement which has been proved. I'm writing in simple words. Which has been proved, and using this statement we can prove other statements to be true. Okay, I think it is given in your book also, you can just go through it. But what is lemma? Lemma is a statement which has already been proved, and which will help us to prove another statement which holds to be true. Okay, so this is what lemma is. Now this Euclid's division algorithm was used to find HCF of two numbers. Now what is HCF? HCF is highest common factor, which you have studied in your previous classes. But this Euclid's division algorithm, we are going to study the long division method, how to find the HCF of the two numbers. Okay, now I'll take up an example given in your exercise, or let me take a simple one. Okay, what did I say? Euclid's division algorithm, right? Euclid's division lemma, right? All these terms are used in your chapter. You can go through the chapter nicely. Now I am going to show you the long division, right? And I'm going to write this in two ways. And based on that, we have the exercise 1.1. So I'm going to take up, not from the textbook, I'll take up two examples. A simple one I'll take first. I will take 8 and 12. Now since these are very easy numbers, it is very easy for you to find out the HCF by prime factorization method. Now prime factorization method everybody know, but now we are going to study which method? Long division method, to find out the HCF of 8 and 12. You know the greater number out of the two is what? 12. So 12 I will write it as a dividend and 8 will become a divisor. Okay. Now we are going to study long division method to find the HCF of the given two numbers. Now 8 ones are 8. Yes. I cannot take 8 to 16 because it will go further. So 12 minus 8 will give me 4. Now since this is not 0, we have to continue the division till we get 0. So now I will leave 4 here and I will make another division column and write 8. So this divisor will come inside, right? Now 4 2s are 8, right? And here I have got what? 0. I have to proceed till what? Till I get 0. Now what? What is the HCF of 8 and 12? We are going to look for the last divisor when we are dividing, and over here the last divisor is 4. Therefore the HCF is 4 and this is the answer. Okay, what is this procedure called? This procedure is called long division method to find the HCF. Now this also can be written in another form. I'll show you how. See. 12 can be written as, I will write the dividend first, the greater number first, that is 12 is equal to 8 into 1 plus 4. Okay, 8 into 1 plus 4. Next, I am going to write this complete procedure in this form, which is called Euclid's division lemma. Now, after writing this 8 into 1 plus 4, now this 8, this will be copied here, this will be copied here, and I will now write 4 into 2 plus 0. That means 8, 4 into 2 is equal to 8 and plus 0. Now what is the HCF? If suppose I will follow this procedure, then it is easy for me to write out the HCF directly and this will be the answer. That means this. We have to understand that when we are solving the Euclid's division lemma, either we can go with this method or this method, but this is given in your textbook. So 4 will be the HCF of the two numbers, that is 8 and 12. Okay, now this is very easy to understand because these are very small numbers. So I will take up now a greater number from the exercise. I will take. I'll rub this. This is Euclid's division lemma. And what is lemma? Lemma is a statement which has already been proved and that is used to prove another statement. Let me take a very simple example once again. 25 and 10. Okay. We have to find the HCF of 10 and 25. What we'll do? 25 will be inside, 10 out. 10 2s are 25. So we have to continue now. Here I'll write what? 10. 5 2s are 10. Since I have got 0 here, I will stop and I will write HCF is equal to 5. HCF of 10 and 25 is what? 5. Now if I have to write in another form, what will I do? I will write 25 is equal to what? 10 into 2 plus 5. Then I will proceed. I will write here 10. I will write 5 into 2. Okay. And plus 0. So what is the HCF? HCF is equal to 5. Okay. This is how we have to solve question number 1 from your exercise 1.1. So here we have, children, I hope this is clear to you, that what are real numbers? Real numbers are the numbers which consist of rational numbers and irrational numbers. Rational numbers are the numbers which can be written in the form of p by q, where q is not equal to 0. And irrational numbers are the numbers which cannot be written in the form of p by q. We also know what is the decimal form of the rational numbers and irrational numbers, and I think we have this in the later part of the chapter. And I also told you that we have two important one is Euclid's division algorithm, which is also called Euclid's division lemma, and fundamental theorem of arithmetic, which we are going to study later on. Now this is first part, that is Euclid's division, and I am going to now take up one question from your exercise, and as many steps are there you have to perform. Please see that you perform it correctly. So the first question is, divide 2 to 5, not divide actually, there are two question numbers given, 135 and 2 to 5. What do you have to do? You have to find the HCF. By which method? By Euclid's division lemma, right? So what we'll do, 2 to 5, when I divide it by 135, if I directly write that method it will be easy, but if I write this first and then go on to the next part, it will be easy for me to compare. Okay, so therefore 135 ones are 135. If I take 135 twos, it will be greater. So here I got 0, here I got 9. Okay, now 90, then 135. If I take 90 into 2, it will be 180. So I will just take 90 ones are 90, 5 and 4. And here I will put 90 and 2s are 90. So the answer is, what is the HCF? HCF is equal to 45. Now we can write this in the form of those statements. So 2 to 5 is equal to 135 into 1 plus 90. Next, 135 is equal to 90 into 1 plus 45. Yes, and then what next? 90 is equal to 45 into 2 plus 0, and therefore this is the HCF for the given numbers. So I hope this is easy to write. This is called Euclid's division lemma, and you can complete. There are two more parts in this exercise. Question number 1, two more parts are there. I think you can complete these. Now today what you will do, you will write the meaning of rational numbers and irrational numbers in your notebook, and then start with what is the Euclid's division lemma. Statement is given in your textbook. Go through it and you can copy it from your book, and then start with these questions which I have taken up, and then start with the exercise question number 1. So today you only do question number 1 and the examples which I have taken up, and copy the statement from the book, right? And then I will continue tomorrow with the same exercise. Okay, I hope the Euclid's division lemma, the whole steps are clear to you. How do we solve a question? How do we find HCF by a division method, which is also called a long division method, that is division algorithm. And that same we are going to write in the form of this, which is called Euclid's division lemma. So children, complete all this work, and there are two more parts in question number 1. Here you can see your book. Okay, so 196 and 38220 and 867 and 255. So complete this today and then I'll continue tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.